Hello and welcome to Fidelity Next. I'm your host, Tamara Radachai. This show is dedicated to helping take students to the next level in their careers, but we're also here to help students and young people feel empowered to start their investing journeys. Today we'll be talking about both those things with Iona Seider Ramos, Marketing Manager for Investly, and Emily Marchelletta, Brand Ambassador for Investly. Ladies, welcome to Fidelity Next.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Let's kick things off by telling us a little bit about yourselves and what your journey to Fidelity looked like. Emily, let's start with you.
So I'm currently in my fourth year of the Business Administration program at Laurier. I found this role at Investly. I haven't previously worked at Fidelity, but one of the clubs I was in at school, our president sent out a job posting for this Investly role. And, now that I'm in my fourth year, I'm starting to look for building a lot of connections for some post-grad job opportunities. And when I saw this, I thought it was a super cool opportunity to be working for Fidelity under this new brand, Investly. I really aligned with a lot of the values that Investly offers. And so I thought it was a super cool opportunity. And that was kind of my journey to Fidelity.
Cool. Iona, what about you?
Yeah, so I actually also started as a student. I started in the co-op program, but I also went to Laurier. I also studied business administration, and I specialized in marketing. So I started at Fidelity as a student in marketing, and then I did a co-op term in advisor sales. And then I came back full-time to Fidelity in the marketing department. I started in our content marketing program. And then when Investly was first starting just as a project, I was supporting Investly through the content marketing team. And then there was a role that opened up to be the marketing manager for Investly. And so then I moved into that role, and that's where I am today.
Love it. So, Iona, what is Investly?
Great question. That's the reason why we're here. To keep it short, Investly is an investing app. But to give you a little bit more context as to why we started it, we really designed it around first-time investors. So that's why we're so happy to have Emily here, and students are so important to us. I think for a long time, Fidelity has been trying different ways to connect with younger investors, and there were lots of times that we even looked to our employees and oftentimes students, and we know that apps were really popular. So we took a lot of work, we took a lot of time to do research both internally and externally, and then we really thought the best opportunity was to hone in on first-time investors, oftentimes younger investors who are just starting out, don't really know where to start. And so we designed the app with what we call guided investing. If you're very familiar to the financial industry, you might have heard of managed investing or discretionary management. And so essentially what that means is, as a first-time investor, you might be lost when you think of the stock market. You don't know, when to buy or how to manage or even find stocks. So we take care of those time-consuming tasks. And then what happens is through the app, you answer a questionnaire with about 10 questions. And then based off of how you answer those questions, we match you to a portfolio. So we call that service-guided investing, but also because through the app, you get access to educational content. So we have some articles and soon to be videos if you want to learn about investing, and we can guide you that way through your financial journey. There's also a goals tab. So if you're not necessarily ready to start investing, but you want to start tracking towards certain goals, you can create a financial goal like buying a car, buying a home, retirement, and then eventually invest towards those goals. And then we also call it guided investing because through the app, there's in-app chat. So you actually get access to financial advice, and you get access to registered portfolio managers who can answer your questions related to how you answer the questionnaire, if you're not sure, if you have questions about the different portfolios that we have to offer. So all of that we call guided investing, and that's what Investly is.
So you don't really need to know anything about investing to get started, it seems like.
Yeah, you could know something about investing, or exactly, you could be a first-time investor, and we're there to help you get started. And the nice thing is you can get started with $25.
Great. So what are some other opportunities for students to get involved in Investly?
Great question. So one of them is our Brand Ambassador program, which we're really excited about. The others are co-op programs. So With Investly, we have 2 co-op opportunities. One is on our growth team. So we have what we call our business development student, and they're actually very involved in what we do on campus, including the brand ambassador program. And then there's also a co-op student that sits on our software development team, so actually supporting the team that's developing and building the application.
So students currently enrolled in whatever undergraduate programs can apply to that as a student, as a co-op or intern?
Exactly. And I believe we have our summer positions filled, and we might also be filling in our fall positions, but we're actively looking for new roles. So yeah, if anyone's interested in applying, they can reach out through our program, or you're also more than welcome to reach out to myself on LinkedIn.
Yes, recruitment for fall is in May, so keep an eye out for that. Is there anything else exciting going on in the world of Investly these days?
Great question. We always have different promotional programs because we always know students, or in general, first-time investors are always looking for different incentives. So right now we're running a contest until May 5th. So strongly recommend that if you're watching this webcast when it airs, you download the app, sign up, and with funding your account with a minimum of $25, you can be entered into the contest. You just have to make sure that you go to our contest page. So I believe we'll have a link in the description, as well as in the sign-up email for people to go sign up to the contest. So as long as they fund their account, there is also another alternative method. They can be entered to win $7,000.
Wow, that's quite the start on the investing journey. So. Sorry, I'm just picking on you today, Iona.
No worries.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Brand Ambassador Program?
Yes. So we're so excited about the Brand Ambassador Program. I'm sure there have been many guests here to talk about the Fidelity Campus Ambassador Program. The Investly Brand Ambassador Program is a little bit different. So co-op students are eligible to participate in both the Fidelity Campus Ambassador role as well as the Investly Brand Ambassador role. The difference with the Investly Brand Ambassador role is it's a little bit more sales focused. So as I mentioned earlier on, we heard that, an investing app would be a great avenue to explore for younger first-time investors, and that came from students. So knowing that, we know students in general are more inclined to work with Investly, so we actually have our Brand Ambassador program to be on campus, promoting Investly, doing different events, finding event opportunities. We set them up with a uniform, they get their own swag, and then they also get a certain amount of swag that they can give out as they reach their different targets. So as they're talking to people with Investly and they sign up and download the app and become a user, they're eligible to give away swag. And then they're also involved in lots of feedback. Emily has given us lots of feedback on the application, and we're actually reviewing it as a team. So we really value the Brand Ambassador Program for the sales opportunity, but also just the value that they have in growing Investly as a product, as a business. So we're really excited about the Brand Ambassador Program.
Yeah, and that is exclusively on campus, correct?
Yes, so that's actually a great question because Emily's actually continuing on into the summer. So the Brand Ambassador Program is designed for students. However, Emily is more than welcome, as well as the other brand ambassadors, to find co-op opportunities off campus because we know, especially in the summer months, not everyone's going to be at school. So we are still focused on finding our brand ambassadors at school. However, we are going to be looking at different opportunities off campus as well.
Great. So Emily, over to you as a brand ambassador. Can you tell us a little bit about what that experience has been like?
Yeah, so it's overall been a super rewarding experience. Some ways that we've been, my partner and I at the Laurier campus have been trying to promote the app or connect with a lot of students. We have set up some booths on campus. We've collaborated with some clubs for some of their networking expos. And we have also collaborated with the brand ambassador at Guelph, so that was really cool. We attended the Laz vs. Lang basketball game, where we connected with a lot of students there. I've also connected with students through setting up coffee chats to get a little more of a one-on-one conversation going to talk to them about. Some of them have heard about Investly before and then some haven't. So this kind of gives me the opportunity to connect with them, get to know students a little better, see where each person has a unique story. So kind of seeing if they have already started investing or if they have not started investing yet, trying to find how I can use Investly to better improve their investing journey, whether that's getting them to use the Learn feature, which I find super helpful, to learn a little bit more about investing or the app in general. Also using the chat feature to, as Iona said, to connect with a financial advisor and get some more professional information. So using those different avenues, I found it really beneficial to connect with students and see how we can improve their investing journey.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's no better way than to just like sit down and just start talking to everyone, right? Like one by one to get all those stories and connect all the dots.
Yeah. And the brand ambassador program, like officially as the Investly brand ambassador, it started in January. So Emily started in March, but she was technically a part of the first batch of Investly brand ambassador program. So we're really excited to have her on for the summer and kind of continue growing the program and see where it goes.
Yeah, and evolve with it, right?
Yeah.
So how have students been receiving it so far? Like what's the word on the street?
Yeah, so we've gotten a lot of good feedback. A lot of students, for me personally, I actually resonated with the app so much because I was that student who wanted to start investing and didn't really know where to start. I didn't know what to invest in, how to do it, what app to use. So Investly was that perfect app for me that provided guided investing and kind of took care of all those concerns I had, which is similar to a lot of the feedback I've been getting from a lot of students. They want to start investing. A lot of them don't know where to do it or don't really have parents that can kind of guide them towards how to do it. So we've gotten a lot of good feedback. A lot of people find it really useful. And yeah.
Love it. And how can students find you on campus? Like how can they find an Investly ambassador?
Yeah, so we tend to do booths frequently, either every other week. And also everyone can feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I've also been reaching out to some students on LinkedIn. So I think that's the best way to connect if we don't personally know each other.
Yeah.
I'm always open to going for coffee chats, meeting up on campus for whether it's a quick conversation or a longer one to get to know about the app. And yeah.
Great. And you mentioned you really like the app resonated with you. So why are you both passionate about Investly, Iona?
Great question. I think for me, I was one of those students and early on full-time before Investly existed where Fidelity was asking, what should Fidelity do? So from very early on, I was very passionate about, the ability to be able to build an app. So once the project started and I was able to support from the content marketing team, I was just super excited to be able to do something new. And I think the idea of fintech, I know it's not new anymore and it's been around for a few years, but still kind of new and exciting and a new initiative definitely at Fidelity. So I think the idea of being able to be a part of something from the start and being able to watch it grow and continue to watch it grow, that was something that I was really excited and continue to be really excited to do.
Yeah, it's always really nice being there from day one, right?
Exactly.
Emily, what about you?
Yeah, so similarly to how I mentioned before, what I really love about Investly is how much it resonated with me and my story of wanting to get into investing. And also I have a really big entrepreneurial spirit. So being able to be part of this new initiative that we're planning to grow into a bigger platform, that is something that really gives me energy. And it's something that I enjoy doing. And yeah, so that's why I really enjoy working for Investly.
Well, the energy's infectious. You got me super excited.
I was also going to say, because you asked ways to connect with Emily and also myself and just hear more about Investly. We're also on social media, so you'll see a lot of the events that Emily will be doing, but also the other brand ambassadors. If you follow us on Instagram, we're also on TikTok. On Instagram, we're at GetInvestly, and on TikTok, we're at get_Investly.
Cool, thanks. So one last question for both of you, since we're chatting with students here today. What's a piece of advice that you have for students?
Great question. We were talking about this earlier, and I feel like through the years my answer changes, but I think one thing that I've consistently said that's really helped me throughout my career is networking. I think really being open to meeting new people. You'll never know where people's careers go, where your career goes. Being open to asking questions, asking for advice, and just in general being curious, I think has helped me a lot in my career and has opened my door to a lot of opportunities, including in Investly. But I think as I've seen other students grow, I've seen that trait kind of follow through, and I think it's really great advice.
Yeah, Emily, what about you in your 4th year?
Yeah, so some advice that I would give, coming from someone who was always super shy, and now I'm in a very people-facing role. The biggest the biggest piece of advice I would give is to kind of just go for it and put yourself out of your comfort zone. Even if it's something that's super difficult for you to do and your mind is really telling you that it seems like such a big challenge, to still go for it, put yourself out there. That's the best way to learn. I found personally I grew a lot through doing that. So yeah, that's a big piece of advice that I would give.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks to everyone else who tuned in today. We hope you're feeling inspired to dive deeper into all the opportunities Investly has to offer, whether to kickstart your career or your investing journey. To stay on top of all the updates, as Iona mentioned earlier, you can follow Investly on Instagram at @getinvestly and on TikTok at @get_investly. If you want to rewatch this episode or share with those who missed it, you can find it on Fidelity Canada's YouTube page under the Fidelity Next playlist. As always, it's been a pleasure being your host, and we'll see you on the next episode.